everybody, and welcome back to Present Arms, our Hobby Night Live. We are back with you after our summer break, and we are ready to get right back in the saddle and get some hobby and gaming going and all this goodness. So, a quick shout out to everybody out there to let you know that tomorrow our first episode of season 3, you heard that right, season 3 of the podcast is going to go live. Later tonight, after this not this podcast, but after this stream, we'll be releasing the podcast to our Patreon supporters. They always get first dibs. We also have some very exciting news we just might talk about during this live stream. We hope you guys enjoy what you're going to see. We also are on Discord right now. So if you go to the Discord channel for SITREP Podcast and look for the Present Arms channel, you can join the conversation live there, I hope. Since this is the first time using it in this format, I sure hope I know what the heck I'm doing, but we will sure give it our good old SITREP try. So I want to thank all you guys, the operators, the fans of SITREP Podcast, for joining us. Whether you're doing it live right now or if you'll see this later, we appreciate your support in any way, shape, and form. Since our summer break, we have definitely climbed in subscribers on YouTube and Facebook and Patreon and Twitch, but we need to keep those numbers going because the more you guys spread the word, the more love we get. Because I'm telling you right now, we've got some very exciting projects in the works, and I am very excited for those projects. Let me bring up. Hey, Chip, how are you? Chip's on YouTube right now. I'm going to try and bounce back and forth between different sections since I don't have a producer with me tonight to monitor our different formats, but I am not worried about it at all. So bear with me as I get the different platforms up and running on here, just on my phone because I am not at a computer that is running our stuff at the moment, and I want to, no, we don't want that. Let me turn the volume down there. Jeff Faviano is doing OCRP iRacing right now. I enjoy watching Jeff Faviano, especially his LSPDFR over in GTA land. I need to log out of this Twitch stream and go into my other one. So how have you guys been since we've last been back on the air? I hope you all are having a great time. Hope you're getting some good games in and all that good stuff. What's new? Oh, there's so much new stuff going on right now. Account settings, subscriptions, blah, blah, blah. How the heck do I sign out on my phone? Sign out, sign out, sign out. Sign out, sign out. No. Get out, get out. I know there's a way to doing this very easily, and for some reason, I am totally failing at it. Should be settings, account, my subscriptions, no, no, security, password, email, phone, password, blah, blah, blah. System, licenses, no. Oh, for the love of Peter. This is what happens when you step away from Twitch, because I was trying to support our good friend Jim, who was doing his thing. There we go. SITREP podcast. Boom. Back it in. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. Let me get into live. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just crank into this real quick. All right. So I'm there. Hey, there's the man himself. The Big Jim Oriskany. That's your new nickname. Big Jim. Okay. All right. So we are definitely going to jump on some gaming tonight. Jim, if you're able to hop back and forth between Twitch and YouTube, because we did have a couple of people popping in and commenting on YouTube, and my phone can only let me see one thing at a time while I'm painting, it'd be too hard. If you're able to do that, I appreciate it. If you can't, that's cool too. But let's get into some projects, shall we? It's been a while. I've got my cup of water somewhere. What did I do with my cup of water? I put it down. My big old work cup of water. Work cup of water? All right. Who stole my work cup of water? Because I know I just filled it and brought it back in here. And like everything else, this has been a hell of a week in reality land, and I am all screwed up. So I've got to find my big old cup of water as I step away from the work table. Um, I hope you guys are excited for some of the new adventures coming up. Most definitely. Oh, I left it in the sink. Oh, that was smart of me. At least it didn't spill. Okay. So, have you guys seen the workup of the cover for Ultra Combat Modern? It is getting rave reviews. If you're not familiar with it, this was the latest Kickstarter from Dish Dash Publishing, the creators behind Skirmish Sangan. And I'm telling you, it's looking really good. Looking really good so far. So, what should we work on tonight? Well, I'd like to get this finished up. As you can see, I've already done their multicam on there. Hopefully you can see that all right. Oops. So I've done up their multicam. We'll finish up the weapons. We'll weather this baby up. Um, so we'll finish that up. I've got my Ultra Combat Modern Russian here from the Russian Federation that I've painted up. He's all done and ready to go. If you can see that. Let me see if I can adjust the light, get a little bit brighter light on here. I don't. Seems a little dark. Um, you know what? I'm going to throw a little extra light on here, just so we can make sure that's potentially light, because cameras need all the light they can get. It does crank up the heat in here, but that's all right. No big deal. All right, let's see if that looks any better in the light. Focus, focus, focus. There you go. So that's your Russian Federation troop. He's all done. I'm going to base him on a clear base. I have his counterpart. This is the American. These are actual production, early production miniatures from the Kickstarter for Ultra Combat Modern. They look amazing. So to everybody in that project over at Dish Dash Publishing, excellent work. I cannot wait for the rule set and the cards, and we're going to get some demo games in. I know Chris, one of our co-hosts, has been working hard on some projects with them to get that up and going. So it's looking really good. Well, we got us some more visitors. Welcome, everybody. I am so pumped up to be back, if you can't tell. It's been a long time coming, and we are definitely looking to showcase some stuff. So I am going to make the announcement right now because I just can't keep a secret. We are pleased to announce here at SITREP Podcast that we are going to be celebrating Halloween in a very special way. How special, you ask? Well, if you listen to one of our podcasts, the one that, well, I guess you haven't listened to it yet because it doesn't come out until tomorrow, but we had Greg from Dust USA on with us as our special guest. Once a year, Greg and his family are kind enough to spend it with my family here at our house, and we just chill for a weekend, get away from gaming, pretty much anything, and just eat and swim and just hang out. And so we got to talking. We got to talking about future plans for Dust. But the more exciting news is we are going to have a Dust War Game weekend on Halloween weekend. Yes, you heard that right. So if you guys are familiar with different gaming weekends, i.e. boot camps, there will be a Weird War boot camp. It will be somewhere here in Chicago. We're doing the location and pricing very soon. It will get you a starter set or starter army and a couple little extras so you can be fully playing Dust. Now people are going, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, that's not Modern Warfare. Well, according to Jim, our resident military history expert, putting you on there right now. So you will find out that we consider modern anything post 1945, and Dust technically takes place in 1947. Bada bing, bada boom. We just got a loophole. So, Discord, Dead Meat was asked, what's the Discord channel? It is under SITREP. if you go to Discord and look up SITREP podcast, you should find it there. And there's one for, oh heck, what was it? For Present Arms. And if you happen to hop on there, we will try and get this puppy working. Again, I can't guarantee because I'm trying to do some hobby and can't run the computer at the same time. Definitely got to get a producer in. However, let's get back to Weird War Boot Camp. So we are going to do it upright. We are going to have games of Dust. Thank you, Skoback. I appreciate you putting that link out there. I am hoping to see some other games going on that weekend as well. So what I'm thinking about is no new fish people. Kickstarter not doing well. Which Kickstarter are you referring to, Seabrenner? Um, but yeah, we're gonna be bringing Dust in. Um, guys are gonna get starter sets and some other things to go along it. We're gonna have some gaming. Um, we are going to do it up. So we're really excited about it. We're hoping we can get Jim up here for that. Oh, Black Sun. Get Jim up here and some of the other guys from the crew for SITREP, and we're going to do it up right. Jim will try and convince to bring some of his amazing gaming creativeness to the boot camp. And like I said, guys, we are going to do it up right. We're going to have a limited number of availability. We'll see what the demand is, but I am sure hoping you guys all jump in on that one, because if you've not played Dust, it is an amazing game. I know it had a little bit of a rough history, but the guys over at Dust USA, now remember, these are the US people, are doing an amazing job to bringing that brand up. The crowd for it is growing. They keep adding on stores. There are competition. It's not a tournament game, but there are a lot of gaming groups that bring it, and they have a really great time playing it. Yes, I have 32 millimeter. Nice thing is they're already primed. You can get them in primed or fully painted, and the painted ones are actually very nice. If you watched my video, I did a video on the Desert Scorpions, which is their version of the Desert Rats from World War II, the Long Range Desert Group. And it was really nice pre-painted Dodge truck. Looks really good. So I've been told that they've come up with a new plastic that's already primed in. I don't know how it works, but it's not actually primed painted, but the plastic is primed, if that makes any sense. So they have got some really amazing stuff coming out. A lot of good stuff. So if you're looking to just get a game where you can get like maybe your younger kids or some people who don't play war games per se, but you want to get them into a really good game that's easy to play and pick up, this might be one for you. If that rep sounds the assembly call for boot camp, I'll try You're going to get here, Jim. You've already got a room. You're good to go, brother. We've got plenty of room here at SITREP HQ. We'll throw out a cot and, I'll hide the crayons so you Marines don't eat all the crayons, and we'll be good. So, yeah, just kidding. All right, so let's show off some of the minis I've got on the workbench. And you guys have stuff out there that you want to pop pictures in, let us know. Get them on the Facebook page and go from there. So as you can see, I have right now this is sorry, lost my train of thought. Razor from Spectre Miniatures with gun crew. As you can see, these are operators, so these could be like your SF guys or Rangers. So I've got two here with M4s with laser designators and optic sights, the driver obviously, and then over here I've got a gunner. This is probably the team lead with a 249 mounted. So we're going to finish this up today. Like I said, I've already finished up the Russian guy this is for Ultra Combat Moderns. Really nice mini. Nice and beefy. I like it. And then here is the American version. We'll start painting him. And also, I have a couple guys here that I've already primed. This is a Canadian. This is from Full Battle Rattle. So Alex, this is the ones I got from Alex at Adepticon. Really awesome minis. I'm trying to find the one I painted already for him, but I think I've put him up on the shelf. So, but they paint up really nice. I really like them. And then we have this guy, and no, that's not a spacesuit. It's kind of hard, I know, to see in the dark here. Let me see if I can get him so you can see a little better. But this is an interpreter. So like your Iraqi or Afghani interpreter. So he's got an old flak vest and a K-pod on. So it looks really good. So yeah, really awesome. So we'll work on those. If we get some time, I might pop some work on this baby. This is a Humvee and gunner from Dish Dash. This is actually from the Mogadishu Kickstarter they had a while ago. I've had that sitting there for a while, getting stuff going on it. Um, at some point, we are definitely going to work on some Polish Grom I got from what used to be SASM Miniatures, which is now Footsore Moderns. So let's get working, shall we? Let's work on this one, get this one finished up. So let me make sure I got that in frame for you guys. All right. How are we all doing? Doing all right? All right, perfect. Jim, thanks for moderating. As you can see, this paper, believe it or not, this paper, I don't know if you can see it, but this paper still has some wetness to it. This has been sitting in my wet palette since before we went on break. It's got a little bit of mold on it now, but I got to put some bleach in that. But yeah, it's amazing what a wet palette can do. I know some people who are kind of shying away from wet palettes because, they say, well, I don't, paint but at one sitting, so I don't have to worry about it. Oh, that's okay. You know, you do what you got to do. I like the wet palette. It helps. Check your Discord PM. Okay. Stand by. I got to check the Discord PM. Mousy. Mousy. Oh, there you are. See, this is why you need somebody to run. Run. Everything. I don't need that anymore. Hey, what'd you guys think of the new music on the intro video? We changed it up a little bit. Just, it's just a little change. So, okay. All right. So, can you guys hear me? Let's see. It's supposed to be talking. I don't know why my mic all of a sudden stopped. Don't mute it. I didn't say mute the server. Okay, can you hear me now? Oh, it keeps muting the server. I don't know why it keeps muting the server. Not supposed to be muting the server. Oh, I'm in the Armor 3 server, you dummy. All right, now let's try it. Nope, it's still muted. Don't mute the server. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, well, I think I got voice command. Yep, I can hear that. But do I hear anybody else? That's the problem. Let me find my audio video. Just stand with me one quick second and I'll be done with this here. Okay, streamer mode's enabled. Yep, streaming, yep, automatically, yep. No, I don't want to disable notifications. How can I know if people are... Okay. All right, well, I'm trying, guys. It says I'm talking. If anybody can hear me, I'm on. All right, let me get back to this. Sorry, guys. Let's get some painting done, okay? Too many types, too many colors. French Armor 40 had some great camo schemes. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, I'm pulling out some new palette paper. It is from, Radagast. Yeah, you can see it in the wide camera. Radagast Workshop. It's from our friend Radagast over there in England. So, my sponge is a little bit wet, but I'm going to throw a little bit more water on it. And All right. Cool. All right. So I'm going to paint up some weapons, and I know you've all have seen my paint racks before. Um, so let me see. Probably want to go with, let me get a paintbrush to point out. So the M249, we're going to go with traditional, just black, gunmetal. For my M4 carbines here, they do have flash suppressors. Some people would say silencers. Sure, whatever you like to call them. And I still got to paint skin tones. We'll probably do a desert sand. I'm going to do khaki on them. Good old Flames of War khaki. I sent you a picture to look at. Did you send it on Discord, Dead Meat? Wow, it's really dry in here. My paper's already drying up. All right, hold on. Stand by. Gotta wet the sponge. There we go. Okay. Via PM. Okay. Stand by. Sorry for kicking the camera. Okay. All right, guys. So this is where I have the hardest part. Trying to get all these. There it is. All right. Well, I see you have arrived. So, Dead Meat, if you could hear me, I don't see the picture. Okay. All right. Let's get back to doing some painting. Okay. So this is a zero brush. I'm going to move that back in this frame. And so what is everybody's game of choice these days? Is it miniature based? Is it a board game? Is it the good old hex and counter games? We know Jim's answer. That's not hard at all. That's not hard at all. We know his answer. Have anybody tried this new Citadel color paints? Aren't they just washes? That's my question. Aren't they just washes? It's almost like a ink, isn't it? Let's go back. Game of choice currently is Bolt Action and Battle Group. Playing Joan of Arc right now. How is that Joan of Arc? You liking it? I missed out on the Kickstarter, unfortunately. I I know Leo and I know Az, and I really wanted to be part of it, but well, I tell you what, I was having such a hard. Oh, there it is. All right, Dead Meat, I've got it now. I got it now. Wow, that is nice. Did you print that? Okay. I'm just wondering if you printed that, because that looks really awesome. So coming soon. Teases. Excellent. All right. I need some. I want to use flat black. Choices, choices, choices. I'm going to use German gray. So I'm using German gray to paint the M249. It will come with etched brass. Woo, pulling out all the stops. Finished the video for Vietnam Air War C-21. It was a good one, Jim. It was a good one. Sorry I couldn't stay for the whole thing. We still had Greg and everybody here. I tried to watch it while I was doing my homework. Oops, way too much paint. Are you one of those people that waste paint like I do? Where for some reason you think you need a whole bunch more paint than you truly do need? I think I should make a commercial. Here at Paint Wasters Anonymous, we can help you. Do. Need to thin that, it's really thick. Dead Meat's awesome. Etched brass and Napoleonic warships at Historicon really adds great touch. I always use too much on my palette. Tell me about it. That's what happens when you're a soldier. Army. You always put more than you need. You were taught bring it all. Bring the rain, as they say. That's how America wins wars. We don't come to fight fair. We come to overpower and overwhelm. Shock and awe. Remember that? Shock and awe. That's what it's all about. So, Battle Group, or actually it's Plastic Soldier Company now, announced Nordhag. So that's the 80s version. So they're, would you say, the answer to Team Yankee, but in 10 mil, which I am totally excited about. If you don't know, I am a huge, huge fan of micro scales. So 3 mil up to smaller. So here's my 3 mil M1 Abrams that I plan on using in a version of Team Yankee or some other modern wars. So that's a troop of M1s right there. Bada bing, bada boom. I printed the base myself on my 3D printer because I wanted to create options for bases. Yeah, it's been announced based on 10 mil, but you'll be able to play at any scale you want. But I think 10 mil is going to be excellent, and they've already shown pictures of some of the minis for it. So it's rather exciting. I think Jim will agree that. Sorry, my hand's in the way. I'm left-handed. I'm trying to paint the back of the ammo can here, mounted. That the smaller the scale of the mini, the truer the weapons ranges and feel you'll get in combat. Well, Jim, they have advertised it as coming this fall, so I'm gonna assume that that means it's really going this time. Yep. So, speaking of other surprises, our friends over at Dish Dash Publishing have reached out to us, and they are definitely interested in doing maybe a gaming weekend, maybe. That one is in the very, very early versions of communication and planning, and but so that could be skirmish, Sangan, and ultra combat. Wouldn't they be awesome if we could get that going? I'd be totally on board with that. Totally on board. Contact Front. I've heard about that. Oh no, I just broke the brush guard off. Son of a bitch. Oh well, I'll fix it. I am so looking forward to that one too. Um, I really want to know more about it. I really do. So I'm watering down the wheel hubs here with a gray wash, almost a gray wash, because we're gonna dust the hell out of this thing. And no, not the game dust, but weathering and powders. Um, I have a game that works on this 3 mil. It's called Hind Commander. I've yet to play it. See, my problem is I have these great games. I just don't have anyone to play them with because my brother, who I used to play games with, travels a lot these days to Alaska. They're trying to open some. He's into like physical therapy business, and they're trying to open outlets up there. They said it's a growth market in Alaska, so he spends a lot of time traveling. My dad, who got us all started in this business in the first place, well, he's just getting old. He's kind of crazy. Get older, you get cranky, you know? So, it happens. What are you gonna do? So, it's hard for me sometimes to get. I have a couple of really good friends that we're trying to get into gaming. They want to, we play Dust once a month. They want to get back into RPGs. We kind of all grew up with RPGs. I'm a huge fan of D&D, AD&D actually. Oh no! Second edition. Big fan of that one. To me, that feels like D&D. Fourth edition was a joke. I helped do the beta testing on fifth edition. Fourth edition was just miniature warfare. It wasn't really role playing. I'm sorry if I offend anybody on that one, but that's how I feel about it. We have ghost ops we've got to get going. I know Ralph was gonna do something with that, but we're gonna get that going. I promise you guys, because I am dying for some RPG. Actually think of doing skirmish in 6 or 10 mil. That would be a great idea, and it definitely scales up and down. Even though it's originally in 28 mil, I thought about doing it in 20 mil, just because there's so much variety available 20 mil wise. But 10 mil or 15 mil might be good too. I have no relatives in Alaska. My brother, for whatever reason, his company decided that it was a growth market, and they are going up there to work on it. So that's what they're doing. All right, so let's work on. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get my cheaters on. Excuse me for a moment. Okay, so I'm back. So I had to get my magnifiers on so I can. Oh, let me take my glasses off, and I can look at some of this finer detail and make sure I keep it in. All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit more. And a little bit more. And then we're gonna put a little camo on there. Um, so, oh, what is that you printed? I'm sorry. Oh, is that a body? It's hard to see from here. Tracked body? So, all right. Oh, it's a BMP. 6 mil BMP. Nice. Yep, Jim, we got to get some RPGing going. I have a membership to is it Fantasy Realms? Whichever one of the online things is for hosting the role playing. Okay, so let's do some skin tone, shall we? Shall we? Do we want to go with? So we'll use this one right here. This is a fantasy game. This is a oh heck, what's this? Scale 75 paint. And this is the Moonray Flesh. Yep, Moonray Flesh. So we'll use this up. Paint up some of these guys. I'm only going to use a drop this time. You know what? That's really pale. That is like really pale. Let me get the other one out here. So we're going to also go with a Harvester Flush. Again, a scale 75, Fantasy Realms. Throw a drop down of that. That's a little better. And then one last one is the Resurrection Flush from Fantasy Realms, scale 75. That way, that'll give me a good color palette to use. So, other announcements. So, yeah, we're going to work with Dish Dash Publishing to do another Wargaming weekend. Still working with Spectre guys to do a Spectre Ops operations weekend with them. That one will probably be based out of the UK. So, give our brothers and sisters on the other side of the pond a chance to get into it as well. And go from there. So, I'm really looking forward to that. All right, so we're gonna paint you. Sorry if this is not in shot. I apologize. Probably should go with the lighter brush. It's all right. We'll get it. We'll make him lighter skinned. He will be lighter skinned as well. Yes, normally I would paint these outside of the vehicle. I've already been told that one. But when we did a hobby video to show assembly, I just wanted to put them in there. Okay. We're going to make his battle buddy of a darker skin tone. I could probably paint these up as gloves, but we'll just leave it as is. So, guys, be on the lookout next Friday for the next installment of Jim's excellent video article series. Is that what we're calling it? Video article series? Ops Center. He's delving into Vietnam. I haven't had a chance to look at the videos yet to get them all squared away. I'll do that this weekend, so they're ready to go for next week. But I am looking forward. I really enjoy the videos. I learn a lot. I really do. So I think he does an amazing job. And if darn it, if we don't win a Webby for those one of these days, I think there's something wrong in the world. You know what's going to happen? Some big time internet channel is going to come along and go, Jim, you do excellent work. How about you come with us? And then poor old SITREP will be left in the dust. Oh well, it is what it is, right? A Webby. It's like the Academy Awards for internet. Hey, that was classified. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you sent it to me. We got it. You want me to promote it? I'm promoting it. Okay, so I've got this is Battle Buddy, who's we'll say of a Hispanic Latin American descent, and we've got this guy here and this guy here, more of Caucasian. We're gonna make the team lead of the. I know you are, but I got to give you a hard time, Jim. It just wouldn't be the same. Oh, that's really looking green. What color is this? Brown violet. Well, we'll mix it in. It'll be fine. I'm gonna give it a drop. For some reason, my brown violet turned out really green. That one's been punched. Um, did I lose my pen? Nope, sure didn't. I always keep a micro nail. Oh no! As I say that, I drop it on my pin on my third and fourth hands here to puncture paint bottles. So if you can see that, because sometimes they get clogged up. So I use one of those. Speaking of which, I don't know if any of you guys follow Spiky Bits at all, but they posted a video today, and I kind of had to giggle. I'm not making fun of anybody by any means, so please don't take it that way. But they made this video about this great discovery of how you can take your Citadel paints and put them in dropper bottles. Because not a big fan of Citadel paints as far as their type of pots, because I always spill it, right? So they're like, yeah, this is how you do it. And I'm like, dudes, seriously? Because I already have them. That's what I do already. You know, as seen by here, I've got paints in dropper bottles. That's what we do. So it's not that big of a discovery. Exactly. People have been doing that for years. So, but I guess, the new Citadel color paints, everybody wants their stab at it somehow. So, it's all good. All right, my friend. I'm going to go back to take my glasses off because, old age sucks. I'm just going to say it now. Used to have perfect vision. Then I went back to college after retiring from the police department. Ruined my eyes. Okay, it's looking good. Looking good. What do you think? New roles, amazing new system, innovative game design. It's always your turn. What do you mean you have opportunity? I agree 100%. What's the new role system? I think Panzer Blitz has had since like 1969. I wish somebody would revive Avalon Hill to its glory days. I'm on a quest. I don't know if I told anybody this, but I should have talked about this in the podcast. Maybe I'll talk about it in a future episode. But I'm on a quest. I go on eBay and there's it's called Consim Market on Facebook where they sell games, the older games. And I'm on a quest to collect every Avalon Hill title, every single one. Obviously in halfway decent condition. It doesn't have to be pristine. I like well-loved games as long as they're complete, and they're not torn apart. Which reminds me, it's either Panzer Blitz or Panzer Leader is totally not usable, and I have to get a replacement copy. But I am going to complete that. And then once I've gotten every Avalon Hill title, I'm going to collect every TSR War Game title. I don't think there was that many, but those are the two that I remember. Um, I got an old copy of. I want to make sure I'm saying it's by. I believe it's by FASA. Is it Mech Warrior? It's or Battle. It's BattleTech, Mech Warrior, whatever the original one was back in the day. Don't you already have a lot of storage problems? No. Well, okay, maybe, but the kids are moving out. We have more bedrooms. 1984 BattleTech. Yeah, I have it. It's. I wish I could. I don't have it with me. It's downstairs in the studio. But yeah, I have that from back in the day. Oh, poop. All right, let me grab a smaller brush here. Let's go with a 00. Also, for you people that have not heard, my preference in paintbrushes, and everybody has different ones, and that's okay. Whatever works best for you is the Adepticon Master Series. Actually, it's any of this brush series by Games and Gears. Um, they no, they're not paying me. This is not a paid commercial. I do like their brushes. I just really like them. I like the metal casing on them, and and they pull apart for storage, so you protect your ends, and it goes right in to here. So now it's fully protected. It's metal, and it has a vent hole. Let me see if I can get that for you. See it right there? So your brushes don't get moldy. So Sam and company at Games and Gears is really good to us, and we like their brushes, so we appreciate it. All right, I'm just gonna throw a couple little brown stripes on these guns just to break up this pattern. A lot of times it's just spray paint. They just take spray paint and spray it. Funny story. Way back when decorating, if you will, your weapon was becoming, shall we say, in fashion. I can tell you, and there's Jim can attest this since he was in supply. Um, People were decorating their M4s and M16s because we were still using M16s at one point before we transitioned to the M4s. Um, some people got in trouble because it was not authorized. That's what happens when you see a bunch of green beanies running around with really cool toys and things, and you don't have them, and you want to be like that. And yeah, let's just say it did not go over well with the first sergeant or the supply sergeant. Like in Call of Duty, black and pink and black camo. What? Say what? I've never played Call of Duty. Oh no, I take it back. I think I played the original version, but I haven't played anything since. The funny thing is that game and what's the other one? Battlefield. I do not get motion sickness at all. I mean, I've been in rough seas on boats, big and small. Was part of a helicopter crew. We flew nap of Earth all the time. I was in the 82nd. We parachuted, and the Air Force guys did nap of Earth all the time. It was hot. The planes bouncing around. Never got air sickness, motion sickness. I started playing those games, and boy, it just turned my stomach. So I stopped playing them. Thankfully, I can play Arma 3. And you might have seen some of our videos, and please, Jim, don't bring up my crashing of my aircraft. It's not real. But yeah, it just, I don't know what it is about those games. It's so weird. All right, so let's throw a little bit of skin tone wash on there. Skin tone wash, skin tone wash. Which wash should I use? I have so much choice. We should put these away. I'm terrible about putting paints away, and my paint table will start looking all yucky. All right, got to reach over here to the far left side for a wash. I have a flush wash here somewhere. Flush wash. Okay. All right, so I've reached into my, sorry guys, my Army Painter collection and brought out Flesh Wash, Quick Shade. Is that what it is? Field of view being too low. Interesting. Did not realize that. Okay, throw a little bit of that on there, and we'll tone them up. So let's throw this out to you. No guarantees, no promises. This is just hypothetically speaking. If you guys could choose a game system for a war game weekend, we'll have to come up with a cool name. We can't use boot camp because that's already used by our lovely friends over at OTT, which is our home on the OTT. Um, but what would you like to play? What would get you to come to the center of the United States for a game? I mean, what's that one game that you go, I've got to play that game? Gotta, gotta, gotta. You know what, Jim? We should come up with a cool slang. You know, like how you have SFAS and well, we had RIP. Now it's RAS, but Ranger Assessment Selection Program. We should come up with some cool acronym for our wargaming weekend. That's what we should do. That is a tough call. Ooh. The gauntlet has been thrown down. Okay, so I need to get some. Sorry, guys. I've watched all their skin tones. So what I need to do now, yes, acronym for the boot camp, is shade up these helmets because they're still really brightly green and they're not that green. Trust me, they're really not. So we're gonna go with. I'm gonna do a military shader to start with. So I'm using, if I can get my hand under the camera right, military shader by Army Painter. Another quick shade. All right, gotta lick my paintbrush. Yes, I'm a paintbrush licker. I fully admit it. I have a problem. So while you guys are thinking about that, so some of the ideas we have for this weekend, Weird War Weekend, WWW, is obviously a lot of dust and hobbying. Uh, get Jim up here; he can bring in some awesome game. We can do that on off time when people want to break from playing Dust and want a little variety, and then we'll have all kinds of games. I mean, I have all kinds of games as well. We can get some old-fashioned hex and counter gaming going at night. Um, we can do a costume contest if you people are crazy like that. You know, some people are low key. I don't do that kind of stuff. You know, it is Halloween weekend though. We can have a Halloween party. You know, if you want. If you have significant others that wish to travel with you, we can do that and have a Halloween party, or we could just game and drink. Um, anything like that. I think that's much better. Much, much better. All right. So I need to do some edging on here because this is pretty flat, right? So we want to go with a lighter dust edge. I'm looking, I'm looking, I'm looking at what we could use. I don't want it to be blatantly obvious, but there again, I want to highlight those edges. I could go with Iraqi sand. What do you think? Iraqi sand, or is that too light? I could go with, which one's this? Manoth white bone or white base. I could go with uh Ushabti bone. I don't know what the Citadel paint. What do you think? What should I go with? Man, those prints look good. I cannot wait to see these vehicles. I really can't. I'm very excited, to be honest with you. All right. Well, guys are being a little on the quiet side, so I think I'm gonna go with the Iraqi sand. I think that's what I'm gonna go with. Okay. Iraqi sand. Perfect. Okay. Just dab a little bit there. And take my vehicle, as Chekhov would say, and center this more for you. Vehicle. Go from there. Now, some people will edge everything, but I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm not saying I'm right and they're wrong, but if you look at light and wear, it's not uniform. It's not even. You know, you want to break it up a little bit, especially in the higher use areas. So I was talking to Greg from Dust over the time he was here, and we were having a discussion about what our favorite part of hobbying is outside of playing a game, obviously. And a revelation struck me, and I think I've said this before, but I enjoy building terrain. I really, truly enjoy building terrain. So I was given a challenge by Greg to build a Dust game table. If you know anything about the game, um, it's played on a grid system. There is a version of the rules so you can play freeform, no gridded. And I was not a big fan of, or at least I thought I wasn't a big fan of the gridded. And come to find out, it makes the game go smoothly, timely. It doesn't drag out unnecessarily. It just makes the game flow, I think, really well. But anyway, so I told him that I would create a game table that is 3D-ish with hidden grid. And he's like, "What do you mean hidden grid?" Well, I'm thinking fiber optics or LEDs hidden in the terrain that you can light up. You flip a switch and all of a sudden your grid pops up. So, and that way you can play with the grid, but also be able to play 3D wise. Because the right now, it comes with a really nice neoprene mat that's got a grid on it. Um, and you can play that, and you can add 3D terrain, but it comes with card 2D terrain as well in each starter set. So you can jump right in and play. You get everything you need, dice and everything's included. Um, but to add to the visual effect of it, you want that depth and dimension that I think 3D terrain brings to it. So I was like, okay. So the goal is to design and have this built by the weekend of the War Game weekend. So, okay. All right. So I'm gonna do a little highlighting. I gotta do a little. Take a little Iraqi sand, mix it into some brown to get the shade I need for the boots. That looks good because boots need to be painted up. Where's your boots? And a boot. Or as Chris would say, a boot. Canadian speak. A boot. Okay. All right. So now I need to do a little bit of weaponizing on that weapon. Weaponizing on the weapon? Black, no. German gray, no. Gunmetal gray. Hey, now there are other Canadians present. Sorry. CCOM, Chicago Command Operations Miniatures. Dude. That sounds pretty darn fancy if you ask me. That's pretty cool. You come up with that all by yourself, or did Jennifer come up with that? All right. Just highlight this, highlight this. Do I have a pencil up here? You guys know the graphite trick, right? Take a graphite pencil, you shave some of the lead, and then dust it onto your weapon. This really should be green. It's not black. Let me grab a green. Where is it? War Dog green. Maverick khaki. No. NATO green. I really don't like the NATO green. It's very green. Soviet green. Now that's more like olive drab. Oh wait. I found it. Cobra drab. Of course. Put it on a helicopter, right? Cobra drab. Jennifer's out of town. Lock up your doors. You're funny. You are funny. Holy moly, does that mean you're doing a whole bunch of gaming this week and weekend? There, that's much better. I don't think people would really notice, but I would. That's much better. I like it. So I know it's kind of hard to see in that lighting, but I think that looks much better. Okay. Since I have the green out, there's a little bit of straps here. I'm going to highlight real quick. Where is it? I know people would be yelling out, it's tan, it's sand color. Yeah, maybe. Depends on the equipment they're using, you know? If you look at pictures, nothing is standardized. They use whatever they can get their hands on and whatever they feels best. But in general, uniform terms, you're correct. It's pretty much uniform to the color scheme of the operation. Yeah, I think you deserve a weekend off there, Jim. But I know you, your consideration of a weekend is not the same as ours. Okay. Um, what do you think, guys? I think we're gonna dust the heck out of that thing. So, to do that, now the question is, do I dust it first then lacquer it? Lacquer it then dust it? Lacquer it, dust it, lacquer it? I'm doing choice C. So I got to get out my good old testers, flat, Model Master lacquer. Yes, I'm going to stink up the studio. It's all right. It's just me in here, so I get high. It happens. It happens. And then I need some powders. I use the Secret Weapon powders. Yellow Earth. I'm probably going to go with the Yellow Earth, and I'll highlight it with some dark yellow. I'm not going to use Rust Red, obviously. Okay, so while it is... And I'm going to use one of my old crappy paintbrushes. Actually, I'm going to use a flux brush. That's what these are, flux brushes. So here, let me get this in camera so you can see. Okay, and get that in camera so you can see. Or I'm going to try to. You might have to look at the widescreen, but I'm going to pop that in there. Obviously, you want to get dust everywhere. You know, because it's got to be dusty. Especially the tires and the rims. Now this here area could be painted a different color because that's plastic in the real world, but eh. You want to make sure you get this all dusty, nice and dusty. A little bit more there. There we go. Let me close that up. How's that look? Fume extractor. Oh no. Health and safety, health and safety. I'm just a dumb American. We just breathe the shit. Sorry for the language, but you know, that's how it is. But yeah, the weathering powder really brings it out. All right, guys, that is the Spectre Miniatures Razor with crew. I got this model miniature at UK Games Expo the year they came out. That's when I met Steven for the first time. Steven and Jess, his lovely bride, and happy anniversary to them. They're celebrating their anniversary. And if you guys didn't know, Matt, the other person behind Spectre, rule set is just tied the knot with his lovely bride. So, hey, Chris has joined us. Welcome, Chris. Um, so I'm gonna do a base for this. Normally I wouldn't, but if you guys were paying attention, or when I built this thing, I screwed up the suspension a little bit. As you can see, it's kind of wonky. That's not how it's supposed to look. And so I got to build a base so it sits right. So, but no, I think it turned out really nice. The weathering powder definitely makes it look beat up and in use. Obviously, this was a quick on video one I did. The next one, I have two of them. The next one I'll do, I will definitely make a better attempt at painting and modeling. But I think it turned out really nice. It's definitely tabletop standard to get it into the game. So I really like it. So I'm going to go ahead and seal it with the next dose of my clear lacquer. Yep, I'm definitely going to build this up right here. Let me see if I can save some of this powder here. Where did I put that brush? Because I got a lot on the table that I could reuse. Hate to waste it if I don't have to. I only get secret weapon stuff when they come to Adepticon. You could order it, but it's just easier to pick it up if you're able to. Hey, look, I'm using micro armor. Perfect. I don't even think I'm going to use the yellow. Oop, that's the wrong one. The other one. I think it would be too bright. That was, this is micro armor I got in the Kickstarter, as you can see right there. Kickstarter reward exclusive when I bought Sherman Leader from DVS Games, DVG Games. Dirk Van Griesen, is that how you say it? Um, and Chris's book Time Off for Adepticon, that's fantastic. We'll have a really great show next year. So that is the Spectre one. I think it turned out really nice. Okay, I was going to spray it real quick. Lock down that dust, the weathering powder. Okay, let that dry. Whew, fumes. Okay, so what time do we have here? All right, so I've got about 15 more minutes of showtime. So the question is, do I work on a Canadian, an Afghan, or Iraqi interpreter? These are from Full Battle Rattle. Or do I work on a American from Ultra Combat Modern Kickstarter? Boom. So, oh, I don't think I showed you guys the finished product, but this I painted on one of the shows. This is a Spectre Mena figure. I will use this in like Black Hawk Down or something like that. But clear base, I like the clear bases because when you put it on a really nice table, it doesn't, interfere with the table. Sometimes it detracts based on how you base up. I love basing, but Ultra Combat is my vote. All right, Ultra Combat it is. I've already primed them. Um, what I haven't used yet is part of Badger Airbrush. Let me see if I can get this. They had a birthday sale over Christmas time where you could buy any airbrush for $55. So I bought two. And this is one of the two I got. This is the Extreme Aero Badger airbrush. So I am very, very happy with this thing. So I think I'm going to paint him green. Green, green, green. Let me get, sorry for the noise as I get my compressor working. I gotta change out hoses because I have an Iowata airbrush as well. That's what this one is. And it's on a different fitting. I have to get a quick disconnect so I can change out hoses because I'm using the extended hose that came with it. and I'm switching over to, if I don't knock everything over, because that would be me and my luck, to my Badger hose. I received the Cthulhu 68 sample minis yesterday. Oh, aren't you lucky? That's the Black Sun ones, right? Yep, they definitely use different connectors. All right, so quick connector here. Oops. In. This one has a moisture trap in it. It's adjustable here. Really nice. Um, comes in a nice little bag here, if you can see that. I think there's another adjustment dial in here, instructions. I did have another Badger hairbrush that I have that I got in the sale. I got a, this one is the, oh, which one is this? Badger 1000G. So as you can see, it's in pieces right now because I broke a piece, so I have to order new pieces. I thought I put it together the same way as the Iwata, and guess what? It doesn't go the same way, so I broke it. All right, so let me put my military shader away. I'm not going to get up and get that. I do have game airs here. I think I'm going to go with a dark green game air. Let me get my airbrush. Sorry for the noise. I'm using an Iwata Ninja Studio Series compressor, so it's not terribly loud. Back to the grind. Finish my coffee break. Thanks for stopping by, Chris. Ooh, that is sensitive. That is really sensitive. No worries. All right. This might be a little too dark. Um, you know what? We'll go with this and I'll lighten it up as we go. Three, four, five. And just because I can, I'm going to throw a little thinner in there, even though it is because I can, just to make it 2, 3. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to put this on my trusty. I do like this painting handle from Citadel Games Workshop. I think it's really nice. I like them. Yeah, it thins out nicer. It's not as dark when you spray it on. And there goes my phone on the floor. Wow, this brush paints nice. I really like this Badger. This paints really nice. Nice and smooth. Very nice even coverage. It also helps to have good paint too. Um, Badger makes a line of paints, and I meant to pick some up at Adepticon, and I ran out of time, and they were sold out. Usually you get some really good deal on Badger stuff at Adepticon. So if you're going to a show and you can go to Adepticon and you're looking for airbrush supplies, it is definitely worth the time to go there and save a few bucks and get yourself some nice paints. A Michigan Toy Soldier Company or whatever they're called was there as well, and they do a nice job too. They had some nice stuff. They had MIG paints. I want to get some of those MIG paints. So, all right. Just cover a couple of spots here. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Perfect. All right, let me get some airbrush cleaner. They had a nice, but they were at Historicon too? Dang it. All right, I feel really bad now. I totally missed out on Historicon. I need to get a proper airbrush cleaner too. No, this airbrush is really nice. The action's very smooth. I have not owned a Badger before. I've always had Iwata, and I had, oh, what's that other company um, that you can find at like hobby shops? Gosh, I can't remember now. But I had one of their airbrushes years ago, and eh. I mean, I like my Iwata, don't get me wrong, but this Badger, it's really nice. Really, really nice. And no, they're not paying me to say this. Meg sponsors all the Meg scale modeling events. You know, that's something I used to do a lot of, was scale modeling. Um, I just gotta, life moves on, and I find that even more time demanding than wargaming. Especially if you get really into it and you want to, do a really nice job. I think the last true model that I built was was it Monogram or Revel? That's essentially the same company, or was. F-14. The 1/32nd, whatever that scale is, the big one. That was the last scale model I built years ago. Post Top Gun craze. Speaking of which, have you guys seen the new trailer? Woo! It looks good. It looks really good. So, ow, I just stabbed myself with the airbrush needle. That thing's sharp. Got a piece of paint in there. Gotta get out. Get out. The one thing I really wanted to buy at Historicon they didn't have. Battlefront had no Ryan's leathernecks. They didn't. Really? You would think they would be all over that. That's a shame. All right, I'm going to put a little conditioner through my brush. Oh, that's not even open yet. I got to find the other one. All right, that's all right. I'll get it later. Okay, I'm going to cover that up, protect the edge, disconnect it. Nice disconnect here. Boom, bada bing. I got to get a multi-brush holder too. I got to get my other one. So I'll have 3 airbrushes working. Okay. Still want to buy the Army and build the Desert Storm Force. Yeah. I think that would be really cool. All right, so that is the Ultramodern based in green. It doesn't look that bright in person. I mean, it's green, but it doesn't look that bright green in the video. So, or yeah, I don't know if from my computer screen it looks a little brighter than it does in person. We're gonna darken that up, but I got to figure out the camouflage scheme on this because they're fighting. I'm taking it since we are fighting Russians Federation. We're gonna go. Oops, dang it. We're gonna go with some former republic of the Soviet Union, shall we say? I don't know, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, some Stan. So it's gonna be more the temperate. Thanks, I appreciate it. So we'll definitely go with the camouflage. So I think that's where we're gonna end the stream tonight. Please make sure you check out the podcast tomorrow. You can find it on Podbean. You can find it on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Music, or whatever Apple has these days. You can find it at OTT as well. Um, and Patreon subscribers get first crack at it tonight, and they will get a special pricing for the boot camps or whatever we decide to call it, as and some other goodies as they come along. Still trying to get a print run of our SITREP mugs that everybody at the top level subscriber will get a free mug with their subscription. So got a lot in the works. Chris is working on some ultra modern combat. He's doing some demo videos for Skirmish Sangan. I have a demo board for Spectre. I'm going to start cracking out some videos for that. We're going to do some real gameplay. I've got Day of Heroes from Lock and Load System. It's the Battle of Mogadishu. We're going to do a live stream battle of that. Make sure you check out Jim's Op Center on Fridays. It's every other Friday, opposite of the podcast. And then he streams over weekends on gaming. I don't think he's got anything scheduled this week. Um, I might jump in. I don't have any plans, so if Jim's not streaming this weekend, I might pop in with a little video gaming, maybe some Armor 3, because I'm creating a Special Forces ODA. That's Operational Detachment Alpha. So we're starting our own A team. So I'm working on the uniforms and equipment. So I might just pop in and show some designs as I work on each team member's design. So it's a 12-man team. So we'll have, a team leader. We'll have an XO, which will probably be a warrant officer at this time. Oh, you did send out an email. Okay. Well, if we pop in, we might do some extra bonus time. We'll see what happens this weekend. But we are going to start trying to get regular, how do I say this? Was trying to get regular broadcasts out, a minimum of twice a week. So once typically in the weekends and once on a Tuesday or Thursday night. We're going to try and stick to the pattern schedule of Thursday nights. I know next week I will not be available to broadcast because I have active shooter training during the day, and then I have to go work my other job at night, so I will be double booked. So I'll see if one of the other guys can crank out something for you guys to get you, keep it in the action, if you will. And then remember, Op Center comes out. So until the meantime, guys, I really appreciate you spending your Thursday evening with us here at the SITREP on the Present Arms Hobby broadcast. And until the next time we see you all, make sure the dice are rolling in your favor, and we will check you later. Bye-bye, everybody.